We have RM in the studio.
Yeah, what?
Show us the rap.
There's no rapping here. I'm not wearing any rapping. I took my rapping off.
Oh, same color as your rapping.
Well, I know. I'm very green today.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
Like it.
Catherine on Morning Wave once told me like green makes my eyes look good.
Are your eyes green too?
Well, they're kind of hazel.
Hey, they don't look haze. They look bluish green.
It depends. Yeah, it depends on what I wear.
Oh, really?
So maybe some of the blue off of you.
Wow.
Yeah, it's cool.
I'm wearing purple.
Is that purple?
Yeah.
Uh-oh, I got to do that test.
Yeah, you gotta.
Okay. Is that purple behind you?
I swear your eyes are greenish blue.
Yeah, they change depending on kind of what I'm wearing.
Oh, really? That's so cool.
It's
Like
my
a chameleon.
superpower. Yeah.
Wow.
That's
awesome.
it. That's the only ability I have.
I wish the camera can zoom right into your eyes.
I don't. I don't. There's
Maybe
like
our
something
listeners
weird.
can tell us what color are Casey's eyes. Green, right?
Yes, very green.
Yeah, so cool.
Probably because of this shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His eyes change depending on what. You should wear red next time. I want to see those.
Oh, that never looks good, but I'll do it for you. I'll do it for you.
All right, welcome.
Red eyes.
Yeah, welcome to the segment for Relationship Matters.
That's right.
What do you have for us today?
All right, so I'm going to continue on from what we talked about last week because we talked about what you should not do if you want to be a good listener, and especially with your partner, if you have like a romantic partner. But this applies to friends as well. And over the weekend, I realized that it's easier said than done when you tell somebody don't do something. So I kind of tested myself out.
Okay.
And I was with some friends. I went to Gojedo on Saturday.
Wow.
Yeah. It was,
I like that place.
It's beautiful. It was a lot of fun. I wish we had more time there, but it was kind of a short trip. And I was with some friends, and I had the kind of opportunity to talk to two different friends.
Okay. At the same time or different times?
At different times.
Okay.
And they had some things they wanted to share.
Okay.
And I was like, all right, here's my chance.
Yeah, time to test out this listening tactic.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I just talked about this with David.
Yeah.
I know what I shouldn't do. Let's see if I can do it. I failed.
Oh no, why? Were there a lot of things
Shit
that you want to say?
I think, okay. So there was a few things in particular we said you should not do if you want to be a good listener. One of those is do not interrupt. And we said 방해 하지 마세요, right?
Yeah.
I couldn't help it. I think I have this urge when somebody's talking, whether it's very serious or not, I want to show them I'm interested.
Oh.
Like, I don't want them to feel that I'm bored in any way
Sure.
about what they're talking about.
Okay.
But I find myself like cutting people off.
Oh, you cut people off.
Unintentionally.
Oh.
You know, it's not a complete interruption.
Maybe you should vision yourself being on a radio show. Because
Right.
you'd never cut me off.
I don't.
Yeah.
I feel like I do sometimes.
No,
A little.
Hardly ever.
Hardly ever.
Yeah.
David, you're too nice. You're too nice.
No,
don't lie
I
to
don't
me.
think so.
Okay.
But-
I'm trying,
Yeah.
like right then, like you wanted to start something. I'm like, at the same time, it's hard for me to not do that.
Well, if that's your definition of cutting off, it's not bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
살짝.
It's just like you're kind of jumping into the conversation.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
But there were a few times I noticed it with my friends where I was like, I did it again.
Oh, really?
Oops, I did it again. Yeah, so that was one I noticed. The other one we talked about was do not advise or do not give advice, right? 충고하지 마세요.
Yeah.
I did it. I couldn't help it. And I was like, one friend in particular, a male friend, he was talking about a problem. And I had just read something recently related to that problem. I just talked about it yesterday on the radio with Steve, actually.
Okay.
And it was related. And I was like, okay, here I go. But it wasn't my personal advice. It was something I had read connected to that.
Yeah.
Is that acceptable, do you think?
Oh, yeah. I mean, did your friend ask for an advice?
No.
But
And
you
that's
just
kind of
gave
the
one.
point. Yeah, that was kind of the point last week is like, unless they ask for advice, really don't give it.
How did you word it, though? Did you say, I read this on the...
Yeah.
on the internet the other day, or
yeah, you're right. I
Right.
totally said that. I read on the internet, which is
Right.
like the worst possible.
I read on this article written by this famous author or whatever, right? It's a credible
Yes.
source.
I was a credible source.
Yeah.
It was a credible.
I think as long as you mention that, maybe it's not your advice, it's someone else's advice that you thought it was useful to that person.
Right.
So maybe that's okay.
Okay. I kind of hope so.
Yeah.
And again, it was like he wasn't really asking for advice, but I offered it. But I did try to give it, and like you said, I did mention like it wasn't my opinion. This is something I think related. So again, I think I was trying to show that I was interested.
Yeah, I think
And I was
that's
trying to
okay.
be helpful.
But if you were like, no, listen to me, buddy. I think I know
Right.
I think I know this stuff more than you do because
Right.
I'm a 형님. So
Oh,
if you say something
그렇게 안
like,
했어요.
if you do that, 그러면 안 돼요.
Right, 맞아요.
I think.
I agree. I totally agree.
Am I giving you advice now?
You are. But I asked for it.
Oh, you
That's
did.
different. I did ask for it. I said, is that okay?
죄송합니다, 형님.
괜찮습니다. All right, the last
네.
one I did, and I want to get your opinion on this one as well. We said last week, do not compete. 비교하지 마세요.
Right.
I couldn't help it. My friends told me about their experience, and then I wanted to share my own similar experience.
Yeah.
But I wanted to be careful because we talked about it last week. I wanted to be careful to let them know I was doing it because I wanted to say, I think this situation is a normal situation for everybody. I wasn't trying to be like, oh, that's nothing. Listen to what happened to me.
Right.
I was really careful not to do that.
Yeah, I mean, how I see you is you're never trying to belittle anybody. You're just trying to like sympathize and empathize with that person.
I was trying.
Yeah.
But I did think about it later. I reflected on it, and I was like, "Am I doing everything I said not to do last week?"
Maybe you're overthinking things.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. And I actually did ask a female friend of mine who I was talking to as well. Another one I want to be careful about in the future is do not discount what somebody says. So 무시 하지 마세요, right? That one. So I actually asked her directly. I said, "What phrase do you hate to hear when you're having a difficult time? What do you not like to hear from people?" She said the worst thing in her opinion, she hates to hear himne.
Oh.
She doesn't like that.
But that's
I use
that's
it all
what
the-
we hear.
I don't like it.
You don't like
Oh,
it either?
really? 힘내. Oh.
I use it all the time.
Oh,
But
wow.
my Korean's a little limited, so I find myself saying, "Oh, 힘내세요, 힘내자, 힘내자이."
It's kind of like 밥 먹자.
Oh, like has no meaning.
Yeah.
It has no meaning.
It's just like
So it's something people say.
yeah.
Oh, 그래요.
Right?
So you don't like that
Do you
either?
agree with Jang PD? Like everyone says it. Everyone says 힘내자, 힘내요.
So maybe that's
and
why I
everyone says
say it.
밥 먹자. And it doesn't mean anything.
I never say 밥 먹자 though.
I
'Cause I
try not to because when I say it,
Yeah.
I mean it.
You mean it.
Yeah.
And I would only say it if I mean it, I think.
Yeah.
And when I'm hungry, like 바로 밥 먹자. 지금 바로 먹자.
Exactly.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that was a good point for me though. I just realized it's different when you have two different languages that you use. When it's your native language, you maybe have a better sense of
Sure. How to use it.
language that means nothing,
Right.
right? That has no meaning. Like, how are you? In English basically means nothing. You don't want to hear the answer usually. Hey, how are you? Oh, don't tell me. You don't hope for a long answer.
Right.
But in Korean, I had no sense that himne kind of has no meaning. And people just say it too much.
Yeah.
So that was a good learning experience.
I just tried to cut you off, so I was like, mm-mm.
Oh, you were gonna?
Yeah.
Cut me off. Go ahead.
No.
Let me have it.
Please finish the sentence.
I'm done. I'm done.
You're
What do you want? Go ahead. Your turn.
No, I think 무시하지 마세요.
Yeah.
That's a hard part because you sometimes don't know what expression or what phrase they don't like.
Right.
So unless they say it, they make a little disclosure
Which she
before
did.
the conversation.
Right.
I don't want you to say these things.
Right.
Then it's easier for you to avoid those expressions and the phrases.
Yep.
Oftentimes, you don't say that out loud before a conversation.
Right. So today, what I wanted to do, last week we talked about everything you should not do. And I realized after listening to my own advice, maybe don'ts are not very easy. So today I want to share some do's.
Oh, okay.
That might be a little bit easier. Like
Nice.
하지 말라는 거 힘들어요.
맞아요. Okay.
So maybe
그러면-
do's are a little bit easier. And one of them is actually, I'm going to skip to that one, asking questions. So like you just said, so in Korean, 질문하세요, right? If you want to be a good listener, 질문하세요. But this was weird to me from this article that I read, and again, this comes from an organization that they specialize in, therapy and wellness for people, and this is 11 tips for happier relationships. So they say, do ask questions, and the questions they give examples are something I never thought to ask, like. You want to ask, do you just want to vent? Do you want to be understood? Do you need ideas? Or like I did, what do you not want to hear? That's okay to ask people.
Oh.
Like what do you hate that people say to you in this situation?
Okay.
It sounded weird at the time, even to myself to ask, but I'm glad I asked.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Well,
By doing that, I was like, okay, how can I help you? In other words, without sounding like I'm working at a fast food restaurant. Like, how can I help you? 그런 거 아니야. So I thought maybe a better way to ask it next time is, what do you think about this question? As a question, is there anything I can do to help?
That's from a fast food restaurant
That's
as
the
well.
answer. Is that too much fast food?
Can I get some extra napkins, please? And it's like
그래요.
ketchup on
And
the
then have
side?
them ready in my back pocket just in case.
Yeah. Wow. This is enlightening as well for me. I guess these questions can help in the long run, it's just so that you know how to communicate better with that person.
Yeah, and it's questions I think we don't usually think about asking. Like, okay, what would you like me to do to help you? Like, what can I do? What do you need?
Like this type of question would
Yeah.
be really effective for maybe to your kids.
Sure.
Because it's in their early stage of learning how to communicate with with other people,
Right.
But with your friends, it's really awkward.
It feels weird.
Yeah.
But I did it in a
Okay.
weird. I did, and when I asked her that, like, she paused for a second. Say what? But I'm glad I asked because now that was a big lesson for me. 힘내 kind of has no meaning when people say it.
Yeah.
And Jang PD agrees.
Exactly.
So I'm never going to say that to him,
Wow,
right?
yeah.
Never. So I thought, okay, that's a good idea. So do ask questions, and they can be asking like what the person needs from you at that moment. As you're being a listener, what would what do you like? What do you need? What do you like? Sounds like a fast food restaurant. 연습 조금 해야죠.
Combo number 1, please. Yeah.
Would you like to
Yeah.
supersize?
Yes, please.
Another one I think maybe is a little bit easier to understand is do concentrate. And I think this is a big thing that people have a problem with. When someone is speaking, look at them. And that means focus your thoughts. Hey,
Yeah,
그거 제일 싫어요.
I'm listening.
하지
I'm
마세요.
listening.
하지 마세요.
So what were you saying, by the way, after 10 hours of speaking?
I know. And when people
Yeah.
pick up the phone,
yeah.
I stop.
Oh,
Do you?
man.
When I'm talking to somebody and I see that phone come up, I'm out. Like, I'll just stop talking.
Yeah, I just kind of lose interest.
Right?
Yeah.
It's immediate. And I think that person doesn't intend that, I know everybody's busy these days. You get messages from work, you get messages from whatever. But just for that, if you want to be a good listener, put it aside. Like, if you can't resist it, put it in your pocket.
Right.
Just get it out of sight.
Right.
The phone is the number one
put it
conversation
on silent
killer.
mode or whatever airplane mode that you have. Yeah.
Yeah, especially if it's an important conversation, especially if this is with a loved one who you don't get to talk to a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe your
for
schedules are
sure.
conflicting.
Yeah, I've had this trouble myself as well.
Put the phone down, David. I saw you over there. Stop it.
It's off. I put it upside or downside up. What do you call it? Upside down?
There you go. There you
flipped
go.
it
You
over.
got it. You got it. 힘내.
힘내. We've had Jenny Nim saying, what about whiting? I use this too much.
I don't like it personally.
Yeah.
I hear that a lot.
Him and whiting is like on the same level, I think.
Yeah, I guess so. For me, whiting has no meaning because my context for understanding that is usually in like sporting events.
It's like cheer up.
Yeah. That's another one. Cheer up does nothing for me.
Yeah,
I
me
hate
too.
cheer up. In fact, I don't like when people tell me to cheer up.
Yeah, I'm not in the mood.
Yeah, right. If I'm feeling down, that's my problem. I can't cheer up.
Yeah, exactly.
Help me cheer up. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so hymne is kind of like cheer up in that way.
And whiting too.
Whiting, it feels like inappropriate. It feels like it's not serious enough.
Okay.
It feels like it's a joke almost to me. I don't know. Do you feel the same way?
Whiting, I feel like same as 밥 먹자.
No
I
meaning?
hear it so many times,
Yeah, right. Overused.
We had a message also. Frednim texting, and a phrase I hate to hear. That's why I ...
As in, like, in your situation, I would do this instead.
Yeah, like giving advice, I guess.
Yeah, that's
someone
the giving
trying to give
advice.
you advice.
And that sounds competitive in the way that you're doing that
That's
too.
right.
Yeah.
One of the don'ts that we should not do.
Yeah, that's why. Oh, I probably use that a bit.
That's
All right,
why I
thank
do
you, Fred
this.
Nim.
Yeah, Fred
Yeah, I'm
Nim,
going to watch
thanks.
out for that one. I think I use that a bit. Well, that's why that's why I said, or that's why you should. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
That's why it never ends well.
yeah, it
That
never ends well. Avoid these expressions and phrases.
Yeah.
But yeah, asking questions, that was new to me, but I'll definitely try to ask my friends, my girlfriend or whoever I'm talking to,
Right.
if they're ever having some sort of a trouble or whatever. And how can I help you?
Yeah, all right. How can I help you, Margot?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with is what can I do to help? Oh, what can I do to help?
Oh,
How's that?
Okay, that's good.
What can I do to help?
Yeah, we just upgraded from the fast food to airline.
Yeah. First class.
Yeah, exactly.
First class service. What can I do to help you?
Yes, exactly. To make the service better.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. Well, these are great tips, great do's and don'ts, and great comments from our listeners as well. Do we have a part 3 maybe next week or what?
I'll think about it. You know what? I'm gonna meet some friends this week, and I'm meeting some of the same friends. So I'll see how I do.
Yeah. All right. Good luck on that.
Thank you. Good luck for them. They got to put up with me.
All right. Thank you so much for coming in, Casey. We'll see you next week.
See you next week, David.
Bye bye.